my movie recollection awards. This is Vincent Cloud,
Recollect a movie. Can't even recollect the name of a podcast. This is John Nemitz.
And I'm David Lauer.
and this is the best actor to play Ebenezer Scrooge in the films A Christmas Carol, and sometimes it's just called Scrooge. And we have the five actors here, and yeah, it's a tough role. This is inspired by Laurence Olivier once saying he was asked about the Oscars, and he's like, "Yeah, I go there and I've won and stuff," but he's like, "But the true contest should be," and I've tried to say this before, but I would always mess it up. It should be five actors play the exact same role. He basically said we should all play King Lear, and whoever does the best out of that wins the award. And so I'm like, well, all right, well, let's think of a role that's been played so many times by amazing actors, and let's let them fight over it and stuff. So this is great. This is spanning decades. Actually, what we have, though, in store is we're going to have a little segment called What is the Role of Scrooge? I guess we'll just call it that. And then we'll reveal the Reddit award winner. I posted this. Scott and I both posted this on Reddit, and it blew up, man, like thousands.
Heck
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it was great. And then we'll get into our favorite part of particular actors and stuff, favorite scenes, behind the scenes stuff like that, and we'll reveal the genre award, which is basically John's coworkers. We're leaving the internet of people having no idea who they are. Now this is more familiar. This is people John loves and respects, right?
Yeah, at least one of those things for everybody involved.
You're half right.
I'll give you respect. But last year it was love. Yeah, well. Oh man. And then we'll wrap it all up where we all go take a turn and kind of rank the actors and reveal who we voted for. And then I will have all the votes that are from friends and family, and I'll count them all that up with ours and reveal the Recollection Award winner. So yeah, let's do that. All right, let's start off with the role of Scrooge. John, you want to intro this, or
Yeah, so as I was watching these, I kind of broke down that there was like essentially like five different modes of Scrooge. And then I was trying to think of each performance in each of those modes. So the first one is mean Scrooge in the office, interacting with Cratchit and the people wanting donations and stuff. Then there's confused Scrooge with Marley, where he's like trying to get his bearings around what's happening. And then there's quiet Scrooge, just watching everything happen with the first two ghosts and like the beginning of the third one. Then there's desperate begging Scrooge, like how does he interact with the ghost of Christmas future at the end, and then finally happy Scrooge. So I kind of found each of the actors had proficiencies in different areas of those. So maybe someone had a very good happy Scrooge but didn't do a good mean Scrooge, or vice versa.
yeah, that's great. And we really have to introduce the actual actors. Let's do that. And let's see if all five take one of those five categories.
I love this breakdown of like the five categories, because it's kind of like assessing like a basketball player. It's like, how's his shooting? How's his rebounding? How's his defense? How's his passing? It's just like different stats on a video game.
Oh my God, I love it. Yeah. It's like I was thinking about it. It's like, who does the best at eating alone? You know, like there's some good stuff there. There's a little variations and stuff. But let's discuss the nominees. Holy crap! But let's start off with Michael Caine from A Muppet's Christmas Carol, 1992. For this role, I'll say the big selling point, or the big reason why they're like, oh, he deserves to win, is because he's the only human with a bunch of puppets, and he plays it straight. That's the big thing that people like to boast about him. Where it's like, holy shit, he treated it like Shakespeare, even surrounded by a bunch of felt. You know. Oh, he has to sing. That one's a particular musical. I love his little hands out and stuff. That was great. The next actor, Albert Finney.
I was gonna say he also got to sing,
That's right.
and he's the only other one, right?
Oh, no, Patrick Stewart sings. He sings in that church. He has the
Oh,
best
yeah, that's
voice.
right. That's right. That's
If we were
true.
giving out extra credit for singing, Patrick Stewart, man, he was great.
Yeah, good point.
Was it auto-tuned, or is this his real voice? I've never heard him sing before, so I don't know.
That was good. It was powerful.
I was just gonna say Albert Finney is kind of unique because he's playing like young Scrooge and older Scrooge, and he's wearing a lot of makeup.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, like that was a category of Scrooge that not all of them got to do, because it all depended on where they shook out. Like, how old was he when the stuff happened with Marley and whatnot?
Oh, he's playing it older because he was 34 when he made this, but he's even playing it older than the other Scrooges. Like, he seems more like, miserable and like delicate and fragile or something. You know what I mean? Like, he definitely feels like he's more in his 60s. Like, the character of Scrooge is supposed to be like mid 50s to late 50s, and actually, four of the actors were in their 50s. It's pretty crazy. All right, let's go on to the next nominee, George C. Scott. What did he have to do that was different? You know what? I'll say this. Just the movie in general is scarier. I would say this was a very scary one. So he has to, act scared and, kind of, he's more braver, though. He fights the change more. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And he seems more intelligent. I think he's the more intelligent Scrooge out of the five.
Yeah, I don't know if we're supposed to get into much details on what we liked about it,
Oh,
but
right.
I really liked the way he delivered like the classic lines. Like, it wasn't like bah humbug, it was like bah. like like he really had a good I don't know, like a sardonic humor to everything, I thought.
Yes.
I mean, I would just say he's a very accomplished actor because he won an Oscar for Patton.
Yeah.
So he's got some accolades in his past prior to this.
That's true. Well, we also Caine. He's an award winner as well, twice.
Has he won Best Actor or Supporting, or what did he win it for?
2 supporting. He won for Hannah and Her Sisters and The Cider House Rules. Remember, he's like, "Good night, princes of whatever, you kings of New England. I'm gonna go get high." Did he do like morphine or something? That was fucked up. It was like,
I've never seen either of those movies. I don't even know. No, I don't want to watch that.
And then, of course, it was weird when George C. Scott as Ebenezer Scrooge started talking about everybody's precious bodily fluids.
I do deny them my essence. Yeah.
Actually, I didn't even think about this until now. Is he American?
That's the other thing. Yes, he is
Is he the
the
only
only
American?
American.
Yeah, so he's the only one who had to um put on a English accent as a Yankee, huh?
That's right. The other non English actor is Alastair Sim. He's
Okay.
Scottish,
Okay. I wasn't sure either. Okay.
but a
Okay.
very good
I
British accent
thought
as well.
Patrick Stewart. I thought Patrick Stewart was Irish.
Oh, really?
And then I Googled it, and then I was like, oh, I guess he is English. But I just thought the way he talked, it sounded more Irish to me for some reason.
Oh, shit. He had a little bit of Bane in there, where he was like, "It was business." Tell me, spirit, are these shadows of the or the League of Shadows? All right. Let's get into Alastair Sim, who had to do the British accent, and um, this seems to me more of a one-man performance, just because of how dark everything is. Like, it's beautifully black and white, really dark blacks, like the fucking Godfather or something is really good. But like his expressions are just so great. Like he has this amazing expressive face,
Yeah.
so it comes off as more like a silent movie, you
Like
know.
that's what I thought too. I loved his like crazy eyes and like just taking everything in and reacting to like the horror of the situation he's in.
I I would say that you mentioned that like people say that Michael Caine had to work with a bunch of felt. I felt like Alastair Sim had to work with a bunch of felt because I felt like some of the other actors in that movie were not good actors.
I agree. I agree. And just to throw it out there, I think the best Christmas Carol, like with all the roles, the best one is '84 with Scott. I love that version. But yeah,
So I mean that brings up an interesting point. Like um we're not quite getting the pure ideal of like the same role because we are working with different adaptations of the story, we're different directors, different actors that they're bouncing off of and stuff. Um, so it
it's the
does make
closest we can do, John.
Yeah, they're definitely every movie does their own spin on the story and on the tone of it. And, some of them are more serious, some are more lighthearted, some are, obviously a Muppets movie, some are more like the 1970 where there's like more music involved.
All right, let's get on to finally Patrick Stewart. Um, what was different about his? I mean, this was, I would say, out of the movies, this was kind of like okay. I think it was serviceable, but
Yeah, was this the longest one? And was this like a made for TV movie or something?
there are two made-for-TV movies: George C. Scott one and this one.
Okay. Like I felt just like as a movie, there was just a lot more of just embellishment around certain stuff. And you mentioned earlier like um watching people eat alone. Like Patrick Stewart made some, or at least the Foley artist made some horrible mouth noises that really disgusted me when I was watching this version.
No, actually, in his movie, there's that emphasis, like at the party, at Fred's party, there's this older dude hitting on this chick, and it's just like, well, there's so much, attention to that.
Oh
Like
yeah.
yeah, and apparently that's in the book, but everyone is like, I'm glad they cut it out of those other versions. It's just weird. Okay, so that is all five actors. And now let's reveal the winner for the Reddit award. And it goes to Best Actor for Ebenezer Scrooge goes to Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
My cocaine. Yeah, like everyone on Reddit called him My Cocaine. And I was like, that's a brilliant name. It's so good. All right, so I'll just say that it's that a lot more votes this time around, a lot more passion, a lot more like, oh my God, everyone is like, it's Michael Caine, end thread, like full stop. Like everyone does that. Like everyone was like Patrick Stewart, and it's not even close. But everyone says that for their guy.
Yeah.
And I'll get this out of the way. Yes, snubs for sure. Bill Murray, although actually no, I can't count him in this because those are different lines. I
Right.
needed every Scrooge to say to decrease the surplus population. You needed every Scrooge to say certain lines, and Bill Murray is great, but it just doesn't count for this particular contest. And really, with all the snubs, we could totally, if we wanted to, next year have another 5 nominees. Jim Carrey, Scrooge McDuck, or what's his name? Alan Young, I think they called him.
Yeah.
Mr. Magoo.
Do you have like who came in second, how close the margins were, all that
I
stuff?
do, and I'll just say this: like, I'm never been comfortable saying the numbers because the Oscars don't do that. They don't tell you how many members there are, and they don't tell you how many votes people
Yeah.
got. But
True.
I'll do this for Reddit at least to say Patrick Stewart is in 5th with a 2-digit number, and then it goes Alastair Sim, and then it goes Albert Finney, then George C. Scott, and then like I don't know, like 300 more votes for Michael Caine, something like that. It was tremendous, and it wasn't like people saying like Michael Caine, Michael Caine, Michael Caine. Whereas like C. Scott's, there was a lot of Scots, but what it was is that so many people voted for one Michael Caine post, like it just had all the votes behind it. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. So, did we want to briefly talk about the book at all? Like, I guess none of us have read it, but just thinking in one thing that, so I mentioned that I have half-assed listened to it being read by somebody on a podcast. And through that, one thing I gleaned of it is a lot of stuff that was made into Scrooge's dialogue was actually like descriptive text in the book. And like an example I can think of is when his nephew says that he married out of love. Like in a couple of the versions at least, like Scrooge says like, oh, that's even more ridiculous than the concept of Christmas, or something along those lines. And in the book, that was like a description of, and Scrooge scoffed at that as though that was the only thing more ridiculous than the concept of Christmas. So I bet there's like other examples of that where just because it's a movie, you have to say things out loud that were just kind of clever descriptions or subtext in the book,
Uh,
which just gives a lot of, like, I guess the reason I bring that up is because it's not like it's like a play where everything's all there, like everyone's adapting a novel, so that's where you end up with like a lot more differences, I would say.
I guess, one question, I guess, because I haven't read the book, but I wonder, is the book kind of like the Muppets movie where there's Gonzo, Charles Dickens, like kind of narrating it in a sense? Or is that just something the Muppets movie did on its own?
I think that's just something they did because I don't think there's like a person who's the narrator. Like there's the sense of it in that, you have this omniscient narrator who is knowing what's going on and what people are thinking and everything, which they kind of allude to with Gonzo and Ratso Rizzo, or Rizzo the Rat.
I love at the end of the movie, Gonzo has to look right in the camera and says, and Tim did not die.
Yeah, that's classic.
Oh, I love that part.
Before, oh, actually, no, I want to ask you guys, like, I've seen the Muppets when I was a kid, and I didn't really care for that one, even though it looked cool and I was looking forward to it. I just didn't get the story. I mean, like, I just didn't care for it. And at the time, British people, they're like, oh, yes, spot of tea and stuff. Like, I wasn't amused by it. I was like, oh, this is boring, you know? Like, I just did not care for this. But upon watching it for this contest, I liked it a lot more, for sure. But
How about
outside of that, though, I've never like so A Christmas Carol never really grabbed me as a kid, and it does now. Like after watching these five, like don't you feel like you just know the story in and out? Like you
I know.
don't.
Yeah, I was starting to get like deja vu and like, um, wait, has this part happened yet? And then, like I'm someone who will watch like a trilogy of movies, day one, day two, day three, and then like have no recollection of what thing happened in which of the three movies. So like to try and look back and remember, like, okay, now wait, which Scrooge said the thing this way or whatever. Um, but I did kind of grow to have an appreciation of it. And I'm like, should we start a podcast where we talk about every Scrooge movie ever?
Get
Well,
on
actually, I was
to.
gonna answer your question. So I had never watched the Muppet Christmas Carol even as a kid. Um, Growing up, the only one I really had ever seen, and I had seen it a few times as a kid, was the Mickey Mouse one with Scrooge McDuck as Ebenezer Scrooge, and I definitely have been a fan of that one. I actually rewatched it um, over the weekend, even though we're not specifically covering that one, just for comparison. And that one is slight compared to the other ones. It's like half an hour long, so they skip a lot of stuff and don't deliver some of the classic lines, unfortunately.
All right, well, hey, let's get into the next segment, which is called just. This is where we discuss every actor, but we'll get into like what we liked about them and stuff like that. All right, so let's start off with Michael Caine. Go ahead, John.
All right. I agree that like he did a great job of not like playing it as a comedy. Like what's the quote, that he was going to play it like a Shakespearean actor or whatever. Um, I think like during the first like Mean Scrooge section, I really like how he played very quiet, but then he would have outbursts of anger. Um, the um, Overall, like part of it, it is harder to judge his performance because he has the narrators and they're able to deliver things that like some of the other actors had to deliver just based on facial expressions and how they're reacting to stuff. Whereas um, in this version, they kind of take you away from him a bit so that they can do their shtick, which kind of makes it a little harder to gauge how he would have done and stuff. Like I think he does good at like looking scared. Um, like in the pleading section, I really like his like subtle pleading, like some of them really go over the top and he's just like not even like as desperate, but just like quiet. And I don't know, I just like how he delivered that. And he had to talk about how he used to work at the rubber chicken factory, which is something that none of the other actors had to do. I really appreciated that.
That's great. Um, Not a bad singing voice.
Hmm.
Um, uh, so there were some things put against him. Like, they didn't have all the stuff that I want Scrooge to say and all the scenes and stuff. So that was a little different. Like, he didn't get to do as much as the other Scrooges in a sense. Um, but I think, like, I was thinking about it this way, where it's like, if I could break down the scenes, like who did the best on that, and then I would just look at it like, well, Albert Finney took this, but Caine took this. I think Caine did the best pleading in the cemetery thing.
Mhm.
Like he, like all of a sudden I totally forgot there was puppets anywhere. Like it was great. I think that was his scene that couldn't be topped by anyone else. A lot of them come close, but I think that's his scene right there.
I would like, to me, Michael Caine is easily like the most lovable Scrooge. Like I love Michael Caine. He's so likable. Um and like and it's also like kind of the knock on it is that I like him too much. He's so like sympathetic. I he's kind of mean, and he has those outbursts and towards Kermit the Frog at the beginning of the movie. But from like that point on, after like 10 minutes into the movie, he's so sympathetic, and I just like him so much because every character, it's like anytime he sees someone else, they're always like talking shit about him behind his back, and he's just watching like, oh man, all these people hate me so much. And you can just see like the sadness. His acting is so brilliant, you can see the sadness on his face, and like, oh wow. And he's having that realization, oh, this is how people talk behind my back. And then it just happens over and over, where they're playing uh the yes no game, and they're like, is it an animal? Is it in the city or on a farm? And then it turns out it was Scrooge, and it was just like, oh man, that's actually kind of cruel and mean. And yeah, this Michael Caine is that stuff. He's like very sympathetic because of the way people treat him, and then also just the story overall of like, you can see why he's an angry old man because of the things he's gone through. And then at the end, when he's singing and dancing, he's so damn likable. The way he's clapping and dancing with his hands, it's so damn likable. And it's just like, I can't believe I'm watching a Screw or a Muppet movie, and I'm feeling these emotions. I've never felt so emotional in a Muppets movie. It's crazy.
I do have to say that when Fred, his nephew, he's like, oh, it was Scrooge, that's unwanted creature or whatever. And I was like, Fred wouldn't do that. Fred loves his uncle, and he's very nice, and he, reminds Scrooge of his sister and stuff. So I was just like, no, like in all four other Freds, all the universes, Fred is super nice, and I really like Fred.
That's true.
And
And that also makes me think of, I loved all the movies had different parlor games they were playing.
oh yeah, yeah.
And like the
Hmm.
the one with the governor's cat is a whatever cat.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Um, and I would say Michael Caine plays this more like you could see him melting, like, going from like this frigid, cold bastard. He, I say, I saw his transition faster than the other Scrooges for sure. And I think they had to because it's, Muppets and stuff like that.
Hmm.
It might have been an even shorter movie too. I think it's a pretty quick film from what I remember. So
Yeah, it's
that's
definitely shorter for all like the interruptions and like other nonsense going on and songs.
okay. So we're still in talks of Michael Caine. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, well I already said it. But that Fred scene, like Caine was good in it because he was hurt because it was his own nephew. He never would have suspected that. But it's just not in the books. So a good acting point for Caine, but for the movie, I don't know. I don't really care for that. While we're talking about Caine and this particular movie, I want to say best spirit of the past. She was very odd. Like she was like a doll or something like that, but like her voice was eerie as well, and she was super bright and like I liked that. I think that's my favorite one.
Yeah, it really made me wonder like the what the Ghost of Christmas Past was in the book because they were all very different in all of the adaptations.
Oh my god.
I got the impression that they were supposed to be like a candle or something, like or a source of light, and their hat was like a candle stopper or something like that, which some of them went into and others didn't even touch on that at all.
Yeah. Um all right, let's wait, anything else about Caine? Oh, Caine was 59 as well as Stewart. Stewart and him were the oldest to play the role. So put that in your pocket.
He was the only one who had to deal with dual Marleys.
Or Marley and Marley. That was good though. He's like, you're more gravy than grave. They're like, more gravy than grave. Whoa. Who writes your jokes or something like that? I don't know. It was very good because like that line is, it's like you can make it work or you can't because it's kind of goofy,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. And I was like, did George C. Scott
Yeah.
even dare say that line? It seems beneath him. Like, yeah.
That's one thing that threw me off about this movie was Marley and Marley, like those two guys. I'm like, oh, I remember those guys from the Muppet movies. So in my head, I'm like, who's going to be the ghost of Christmas Past? And I thought it was going to be like a different Muppet. Like it could have been anybody. Like, and I probably wasn't going to like remember who it is until all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, it's Animal or something. Or I was expecting, so when it was like that weird kind of doll, and it kind of reminded me of like Neverending Story or like The Dark Crystal, like some of those 80s movies. Like it kind of threw me off because I was expecting like more weird like Muppet cameos the whole
Yeah.
time.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, they had bespoke Muppets for those roles, which was interesting.
and while we're talking Kane's movie, the spider was effective. Like I remember as a kid, I was like, I don't like it, you know. But he's like the one, like they're like, we stole the sheets off his bed. We did, you know. He's like, well, I'll give you $5 for it or something
Oh
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, that was pretty effective. That out of those characters, that spider was pretty wicked looking. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
All right, let's go on to Albert Finney. Um, holy shit, this is the Daniel Rigney performance of last award show where he's like he's under all this makeup and prosthetics and he's also like physically transformed himself like slouching and stuff and his mouth is over to the side like he had a stroke or something like "Urgh." And like
Yeah. And he talked like he had a stroke.
yeah, oh man,
Like he
I
was like
was
slurring all his words and stuff.
yeah.
I'm just gonna say it, I did not like his performance. Like this was my least favorite. Like he reminded me of like a Mark McKinney character from Kids in the Hall or something.
Wait, which one's Mark McKinney again?
The tall one.
Oh, the one who's like, I'm squishing
Yeah.
out. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Uh, it was shocking though because Albert Finney, I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna be a good Scrooge. He's got that deep fucking voice. He's not doing that at all in this
No, he
one.
didn't use it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Wait, do you guys know him from different roles?
Aaron Brockovich, Big Fish.
Was
That's
he the
all I.
old guy in Big Fish?
Yeah, yeah. He's the old Ian McGregor. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I had no idea who he was. I I liked him a lot because I didn't know him. It was part of the appeal because I'm like Patrick Stewart, that's the Star Trek guy. Alastair Sim, obviously I didn't know him, because he's such an old actor. But like George C. Scott to me was always Patton. So I had like that in my mind. And then Michael Caine, I've seen him in a bunch of movies. Um, so, but obviously, I know him mostly as Austin Powers' father. So,
He shat on a turtle.
but with Albert Finney, like I had no context for who he was. I had no idea that he wore a lot of makeup until they showed him younger, and then I'm like realizing I'm like, oh shit, is that the same guy? I'm like, oh, he's just wearing a bunch of makeup. I just thought he was like a really weird, ugly actor, and I thought it was such a strange casting. I'm like, I can't believe they casted someone who's this ugly to play this role.
Awesome.
But it turns out it was this makeup. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then it kind of made more sense to me. And then, like, from that point on in the movie, I really liked it. Um, but I liked that he was, you mentioned how, like, he's playing a very old and frail Scrooge. And, he's just this short little, what do they call him? He's like, you're a short little weird man or a short weird man. Um, it was, and it was like, I don't know. There was so much range from him from being like so good at being like short and angry, and then to being like singing and stuff like that at the end. And like obviously the end of this movie, once he like comes around and he's embracing um capitalism, I mean Christmas, he really gets into it, and he's just like, he's so happy, and he's putting on the Santa Claus outfit. It was so like over the top. It went like a little too far, I felt.
It's great.
I think he was the saddest Scrooge. Like he was good at playing sad for a lot of the stuff. Um, and I also thought like his anger at the beginning he did very well. I just could not handle the whole thing.
It was like just so much points for everything that he has to do. Sing, dance, talk in that weird voice, and sing in that weird voice, where he's like, "I like life. I like life." And oh my god, like a very funny performance. I don't know. I really liked it just because Albert Finney, he's serious, so serious in both Aaron Brockovich and the other one, Big Fish. But this was a totally different side of him. I didn't know he could do it. And also, like, I really like the fact that he got to play the young version of himself. And like the split screen, that was cool. And like he's just yelling at himself like, "You fool, to say something." Like that was really good. And yeah, like you said, John, sad. Like he is the most regretful. And
Mhm.
again, I think to me it's him playing it so much older that like at the end when he's like dancing, then he kind of has to take a breath. He has to like walk away. I was like, that was very good. Oh man, I really liked Albert Finney in this, and I want to watch more of his stuff, man.
It was
Alternatively,
kind of,
maybe it was more like a Terry Gilliam character from Monty Python or something, but I don't know. It just seemed like a sketch comedy Scrooge to me.
That's awesome.
oh, I felt the vibes of this movie were very Monty Python, just like British 70s. It was, I like all of this, like the background actors and the side actors, they all looked like they were Monty Python, like out of a Monty Python sketch. So it gave like this whole movie such a different vibe.
I love it was so much fun. Like I really like okay, so 84 is super scary, and I think that's the Christmas Carol, but this was fun because it was so over the top, and I think Albert Finney fitted what that movie was trying to be. Um the fucking what's that one song? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was like, this song's absurd, but I love it. It's fucking great. And then that medley that they're singing, it sounds like "And If I Had an Oscar Mayer wiener." Yeah, like I thought they stole that little melody there. Oh yeah,
Yeah, for
so
sure. I think they it- like the "Thank You Very Much" song. I don't think I've ever heard that. My wife was like, "Oh yeah, I've heard that song. I didn't
oh
know it was
shit.
from this movie." And I was like, I've never heard of it." But like, was it from this movie or did it come from something else?
It's from this movie. In fact, it won best song at the Oscars.
Really?
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
and it's so funny and weird. And like
I
when they're
love the
all
song, but I feel like there couldn't have been much competition.
when they're playing that game, I really enjoy him because he's fucking sloshed on wine or whatever that was. Remember that
Oh
goes to the
yeah.
present gets him drunk. It's fucking weird, but very good. Okay, let's go on to George C. Scott.
Oh,
I love George C. Scott. In fact, I was like, I might just give this award to him because like I like him in a lot of stuff. And I knew he was going to bring it, which he does. And this was the first movie that I watched too. And I'm like, oh man, what if this colors how I view the rest of the movies? Because I'm starting with someone I like, and this is the first movie. You know, like I was kind of weary about that. I was like, I think it depends on how the order you watch these. But
yeah, actually that's a good point because like you kind of learn how to watch them as you're watching them. Like you know like what's going to be important, like what are the scenes to really sink your teeth into and whatnot. Um, so that thought occurred to me as well. Like, what order should I watch them in, and did it affect things?
yeah, I was wondering that too. So with this one, George C. Scott is just so intimidating. He seems to enjoy, like he's smiling and like, oh, you know, they would be buried with their own pudding or something like that. He just loves saying that. He
And
loves
he's like,
being mean.
yeah, like I wrote, he was quietly cruel, like in a way that the others weren't. Like, and I mentioned before, just sardonic, and he like the way he would just like bitterly laugh about the stuff that he was saying and that people were saying to him.
Um, okay, so I'm not sure if this is affecting the vote or whatever, but to me, this was the best one because I loved Cratchit because I love David Warner, and that to me was like such a great Cratchit performance. And I also really love Fred because I like that guy from fucking Robin Hood Men in Tights. He was the sheriff of Nottingham, and he was great in that one. He's got such weird energy, and that's what I was seeing in that party thing. I was like, oh my gosh, that's him, you know. Yeah, I think this was my favorite one, and it feels more complete. It seems to have more scenes than the musical ones for sure. And I think George C. Scott is more of a powerful, like he drives the story just a little bit more than the other Scrooges. Yeah. What do you guys got to say about Scott?
I agree with everything you said. The parts where I wasn't as sold on was like I like his breakdown at the graveyard. I didn't like as much. Um and like him being happy in his room by himself, I wasn't as sold on either. I did like it more when he like started interacting with all the townspeople and stuff, but like the solo like joy didn't really work for me.
I like with this movie, it was yeah, I think it was like the most like kind of complete movie, and it seemed like the best movie to me, like beginning to end. I was shocked to see that it was a made for TV movie because it was just so well done. And I feel like the Patrick Stewart movie seems more made for TV, where it seemed kind of cheaper and um like the sets were really like grand and like kind of like awesome looking in this George C. Scott movie. Um, I really this was the first movie I watched, was this one, and I wanted to watch it first because I was certain that I had seen this movie when I was a kid, but I didn't remember a thing from this movie. It was all completely new. And then I was like, huh, I wonder because I have like vague memories of A Christmas Carol from being a kid, and I feel like I don't know. I think I might have seen part of the Albert Finney movie when I was a kid, but I had not seen this one. And all I remember was is I when Vince when you proposed this idea, I thought A Christmas Carol. I'm like, I hate those movies. Like, I don't think they're that good. This is a terrible idea. I don't know that I
You're a
want to do this.
terrible person.
And and like to me, I was like, this is like the worst like the out of Christmas movies. I've never thought of this as a good Christmas movie. And after watching all of these, I've completely changed my tune, and I absolutely adore these movies, and I think they're great. Um, and I watched the Jim Carrey animated one like 4 years ago, and that movie was so bad, it really tainted my view of A Christmas Carol. And it's crazy because if you look at all the people who were in that movie, or like it should be amazing, but it was really, really bad. Um, I felt like at least. Um, I don't know. I'm going off on a tangent. George C. Scott was really good, and I really like. To me, if I was going to show someone like one Christmas Carol movie, it would probably be this one. I think um, he does such a good job. He's such a like a brilliant actor, and I could see why he like I know him from Patton, but like not really because I've never seen the movie Patton. I've only seen like the 5 minute speech that he has at like the end of the movie. That's the only part I've actually seen. So like I know his name and I know his face. And in this role, he was so good at everything, and he was just he carried the movie in such a way that everything else in the movie, like as I'm watching it, I'm paying attention to George C. Scott, and everything else is just a side character. It's just background noise to me. I'm not even like paying attention a lot to the story or the Ghost of Christmas past, present, or future. Like I remember them vaguely, but for the most part, I just my eyes are glued on him the entire time. Um, yeah, I thought he was great. I thought like I always like nitpick on like hair and makeup. His like sideburns or his mutton chops or whatever were kind of weird and distracting to me, and I thought they could have been toned down a little bit. I don't know, but yeah, he was great. I really liked the movie as a whole too.
Um, it might be my favorite Ghost of Christmas Present. He's so weird. Like he's tall. He's a good actor, but he's like, what's up with the fucking exposed chest, hairy chest? But he also, again, like kind of gets into George C. Scott's face and just like throwing his own words back at him and stuff. He was a lot more intimidating, I guess, but that was good for George C. Scott. Like, I just really feel like this was a very strong, like, just throughout, like, very strong performances. And I think George wanted to be more assertive, and which I think his Scrooge is. He's such a driving force in that movie. Now, I will agree with you, John. When he changes or when he's supposed to have his change, it's fine, but there are better, more convincing ones because, like my mom, she voted, and she's like, I feel like George C. Scott's just an asshole in real life, and like, like he's able to play. Like, she's like, he really acting? Like that's kind of how she felt. And I'm like, damn it, like I don't know if he's an asshole, but he's very good at playing them. Shit. So, but yeah, that's about where I had to take some points off. Where I'm like, oh, George, no, you couldn't. Like it was like fine job, but I just wasn't there with you.
Yeah, like it didn't ruin the movie by any means, but it when you're sitting here comparing them to other performances, it fell short, I'd say, in those sections.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really thought of that, but um I do feel like in my head, because I know of this story, but I'd never really like watched these movies beginning to end. In my head, Scrooge is like this enormous asshole, and he's such an angry old man. George C. Scott like really embodied that part of it so well that it was like, yes, this is Scrooge. He's a big asshole. Like that's how like I really like felt like, oh, this is like the real like A Christmas Carol because he's such a big a-hole.
Let's go on to Alastair Sim. Dave, what do you got to say about the Sim Meister? Miser.
This movie is the hardest watch of all of them. Just because it's from 1951. It's very old and dated, and it's kind of like if you've ever watched like highlights of like a basketball, like an NBA game from 1951, and you're watching these old guys like play basketball back then, it's like a totally different sport than it is now. And I feel like it was kind of that way with some of the acting in this movie, where it was like so outdated. I felt like Alistair Sim was doing a fine job, but I felt like a lot of the other actors around him, their accents, it was like they weren't like truly acting. They were just reading the lines out of a book or off the script. And like especially like even like Tiny Tim, like the little kid, like he says his line and then he like stares at the camera and smiles like I did a good thing. And I'm just like, bro, like just say your line and then shut up. Like don't like make a face at the camera after you say your line. I'm like, I can't believe they left this in the movie. It
Mm.
was, I don't know, and the whole movie was just I I don't know. It was just compared to the other movies, and I feel like watching the George C. Scott movie and then watching Albert Finney's movie and then Alistair Sim's movie, it made me feel like this movie was really poor in a lot of ways. I have nothing against Alistair Sim because he was the best part of the movie. Um, but ultimately, like this movie was hard to like actually concentrate and be like, okay, I'm really into this movie. I like my attention span was tested a lot during this movie. And I can't say that I remember a whole lot because I felt bored a lot of the time.
I thought that I really agree with what you said earlier, Vince, about it almost being like a silent movie performance. Like his, um, like just from the beginning, like I loved his look of shock at seeing Jacob Marley and the door knocker thing. Um, like very good at sitting alone, like a miserable old man. Like he really just captured like here's a guy like at the end of his career, like he does seem like he'll be dead by next Christmas. um, I liked all his like what the hell is going on here reactions, like with um, Marley showing up for the first time and whatnot. Um, and then like when they showed the scene of how he was like buying the company out from the other investors or whatever, like just his smug look on his face, I thought was like so great. Um, and then like even when at the end, like after the turn, like I thought he actually did a decent job of like muttering to himself in a happy way, which like I think is a hard thing to do. Like it's easier to do that either being angry or confused or whatever. My knocks against him are just the beginning part. He just seemed to be just like racing through his dialogue. Like,
Oh, I loved the way he spoke. He
yeah,
spoke really quickly, and just yeah, just with that, I thought he was great. But come on.
yeah, I actually didn't like that as much. Like, just it almost didn't feel like he was giving it the emphasis it
Hmm.
deserved. But, um, yeah, that was the main thing. But just, yeah, his, um, visual, like, expressiveness and everything, I thought was great.
Basically, when he changes, is like this is what I assumed the Scrooge waking up in the morning thing would be like, and more. Like I thought he did the best job, and in terms of like whether whether they're acting or not, apparently he's a comedian, and that shows for sure when he changes. I just love his his little dance, and then he pulls a little something, but after a while it's like, I must stand on my head and stuff like that. Like all of that is like, that's Scrooge right there. Like that's, in terms of acting, like great expressionable eyes and face. And his character says many times, it's like, I'm too old to change. He was actually just 51. Scott was 57, and then the other two, Caine and Stewart, were 59, so he was the youngest of the 50-year-olds, but he was definitely, like, he put more of an emphasis on, I'm far too old to change.
But he was 1950s, 50 years old, which is like 80 years old today.
He did seem old, didn't he? Yeah.
He looked very
Yes.
old, but then when he started to move around a little bit, I was like, oh, he's still got it. Like, he's not like weak in any way. Like, he's got old man strength.
So I think, in terms of, like, I think he was able to be cruel and stuff, but they also had him, lots of scenes would play in his past, and he's not in those scenes.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird. So you could say that's taking some points away and stuff. Really liked it when he was younger and just sitting there, and you're just like, you piece of shit. And also Marley seemed like a piece of shit as well when they were taking over the company or something like that,
Yeah, that was great.
He did great being scared, great as being an asshole, and then that's just him acting. Him actually being able to be himself is the revelation moment. And,
So the reverse Scott.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where I kind of feel where that divide is between those two actors, Okay, Patrick Stewart. I want to say that his Scrooge wanted to change. I feel like his Scrooge was capable, and after a while, he was looking forward to it. Like, I remember when the Ghost of Christmas Future shows up, he's like, I know what I must do. Let's go forth and do it. Like, it felt a little Picardish, like,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he was determined to be a better person. And when he does change, oh my gosh, oh my God. Okay, so when he's like, he's like choking on the laughter that's trying to come out of him, like, that's a crazy scene, right? Even crazier was what I saw. I watched this for free on YouTube, and he starts going like that, and then he laughs, but it's someone else's voice, and then there's like a woman laughing, and then there's a baby laughing, and there's all these different types of laughs coming out of his mouth before he starts laughing, and I was like, what a choice. Oh, like, holy fuck. No, just some asshole, because I watched other versions on YouTube, but that asshole decided to fuck with that movie for that one time.
So it was like the whole movie, and then that was like all they changed.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God. But I swear to God, I was like, this is like Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Like, just all these noises and concoctions coming. Oh my gosh. But no, I think he, like his little dance, his secret little dance at the party, he's like sitting there like scowling, but then it pans down to his feet and then he's dancing, like, that was really cute. I think, like, he played the more nicer Scrooge out of all of them. He was convincing as the mean asshole, but like, to me, he wanted to be a better man, and it was just a different take, and I didn't mind it either. Yeah. What do you guys got to say about Stewart?
Just I don't know. Like here, I'm kind of just stuck in the like role as it was written, which isn't necessarily his fault, but like, yeah, he just wasn't mean enough. He cared about Marley too much, like compared to the other ones where I don't remember which one it was, but like he was basically like in his house dying or whatever, and he's like, nope, not 7 o'clock yet. um, and um, that really stood out to me, and like, yeah, you just never could feel like uh, yeah, he was just too eager to change, like you said. Um, I did really like his like link take he did when he saw Marley for the first time, where he like blinks his eyes shut and reopens them. Like what? um, but other than that, he had like his surprise was like very underplayed, where he was showing or where he was like seeing all the spirits and stuff for the first time. Um, this was something I wrote too. Like, this is true of like all of the versions. Like, did he live in the schoolroom when he was a schoolboy? Like, I always liked how when they showed that all the kids had left for um, holiday vacations, that he was like hanging out in the classroom. Like, don't they have like dormitories or something? Like, he has to like sleep in his desk or something. Um, I did one thing I thought he was very particularly good at was like when he was like urging young Scrooge to like go after the girl and like that kind of stuff. Like I thought that was very convincing. Like that he's like really wishing he could like change what happened in the past. Like I thought he did great with that. And also like his take on like the begging or pleading was almost more of like a demanding, like that the spirits change what they're doing, which I was a take that I actually liked because he's a guy who's used to like just people doing what he wants all the time because he has the money. So like I thought like him like demanding that the spirits do thing was great.
I want to say his, when he's talking like, boy, what day is it and stuff like that. Well, it's Christmas. It is,
The
and he's like,
one as
oh,
big as me.
yeah. When he's like, oh, delightfully smart lad and stuff like that. I think the one in the Patrick Stewart, that's the only clever kid where he's just like the one that's as big as me. Fucking idiot. Like he has a little bit of attitude towards him, and I think that's the best kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, and for the record, uh, the Tiny Tim from '84 Scott, that's the that's the most convincing Tiny Tim because I'm like, that kid is gonna die. Like, holy shit. He seems so like sickly and weird and odd, like he's like, I feel I'm getting stronger every day. I'm like, no, you're not. Holy shit. Like, you could try and convince yourself, but yeah, that was the best Tiny Tim as well. Damn. I want to say Patrick. I really liked his where he's like, you could be on a baked potato or a potato. When he's trying to uh, say Marley, you're just a bad stomach virus or something like that, right? Like I liked that version. He did pretty well on that one because he was just like, this is bullshit, but I'm going to try it. Like, I don't know. That was a good take of his. Again, this is a little bit different, but when he's at the party, he's like, oh, Spirit, can we go back? I miss, like it was genuine. Like I said, he played a very good Scrooge, as in like the Scrooge that wants to be nice, because I think Patrick Stewart might be genuinely nicer than all the Scrooges, So I think that's kind of working for him when that happens. So yeah. All right. Should we reveal the genre awards winner?
Sure. So I feel like this kind of went down similar to the one for the supporting horror actors, is
Okay.
in that it was very much, what have I seen? So it was like a blowout for Michael Caine.
Oh man, not even a bit like mentioning how other actors did.
So there was actually more discussion on this. Like I think like nobody said a word for the previous one, and this one like there was actually a big thread where
Nice.
people were talking about this stuff, and of course like called out the snubs. Like someone did a write-in vote for Alan Young as Scrooge McDuck as Ebenezer Scrooge, which I had to admit like uh, nostalgia-wise, like that's my top one for sure. Um, they were saying like Patrick Stewart Scrooge is more shrewd businessman Scrooge rather than being the although this person liked him for being the relatable villain. Like you're actually seeing where he's coming from. Of course, people brought up Bill Murray,
Mhm.
um, and I shot them down. A couple people talked about Scrooge. There's like something called A Christmas Carol Goes Wrong, which I think is maybe started as a play or something, but there's like a movie version of it, which I'm actually curious about. I'll probably watch it, but it's apparently quite funny. In the end, even the guy who liked Stewart did not vote for him, and Alastair Sim did not get a single vote either.
Oh wow.
And then a couple for Finney and Scott, and yeah, everyone else for Caine.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Caine. Last award show, Keitel was a two-time winner during that night. Remember? He won
Mm-hmm.
Reddit and then he split it with Douglas for the Recollection. So could Caine sweep all three awards? Let's get into it. But before no, this is the final. We have to discuss who we voted for and why, or why, and then we vote or something. But who's going first? I forgot. Just Dave again.
So it's weird because like in my head, I had my view of like how the voting is gonna go. I had this whole vision in my head, and then like hearing who Reddit likes the most, I'm like, okay. And then hearing like John, like who your coworkers liked, I'm like, okay, and hearing your guys' opinions, um, it's kind of like different than my perspective on it, I guess. Um, but like to me, it's like a three-person race. It's between Michael Caine, Albert Finney, and George C. Scott. Those are the three best performances. I didn't really talk about Patrick Stewart, but I didn't like Patrick Stewart very much in the role of Scrooge. He had like a different tone to him where he kind of came off like he wasn't like like super angry or like mean. He was more just like kind of like cocky and like I'm better than you. Like he had like a weird smugness to him that I don't know. It was not like what I envisioned as Scrooge, I guess. So it seemed like he was playing the role differently, obviously on purpose, but it kind of stood out as different to me. But um, and Michael Caine, I felt like he was really sympathetic in a lot of ways. And then one thing I wanted to mention about with the Michael Caine was he was like in his flashback where you see his wife or his fiance or girlfriend like breaking up with him. And he was like, I don't know, to me, I felt like she was breaking up with him. She's like, "Well, you said you were going to get a ring." And you didn't get that ring. You said we were going to get a house. And he's like, well, the markets were slow. That's why I couldn't get the ring and I couldn't get the house. Because he's like, well, maybe next year. And then and then they're breaking up. And then I'm like, I felt like his girlfriend was kind of a gold digger and was just with him, like, oh, you're a finance guy. Like, show me some jewelry. And he was like, well, business is bad. You know, the markets are bad. There's nothing I can do. And then she's just kind of punishing him because he didn't get a ring fast enough or buy a house fast enough. So it made me really sympathetic towards his character, along with a million other things, like also his great acting. Um, uh, I guess for me, I'll just say my winner. Uh, I feel like you guys aren't going to pick this person, but my winner was Albert Finney. I thought he was the best. Um, and I felt like he was the best, and probably part of my reasoning is just because I liked the his role of being old and like small and diminutive and angry. He had like that little that short man who's very ornery and angry at the world. Like I really bought that part of him, and I liked how he was so diminutive in stature. Where like George C. Scott is this very like large, strong man, um, and but like it to me it means something different coming from like a little small person being so angry. Um, I'm not sure why, but it feels different to me. Um, I really liked Albert Finney just because of his range. I thought it was great, but also the fact that I wasn't like I've seen Michael Caine in other stuff. I know George C. Scott is in other stuff, but Albert Finney, I didn't know from anything else. I only knew from this movie, and maybe that's why I'm like partial to him and like him more. That could definitely be part of it. Um, and I like the whole movie as a whole. I thought the George C. Scott movie, I watched that first, and his acting was brilliant, but he was very good as like a mean, angry Scrooge. And Albert Finney, his transformation was like going from like mean to like being so happy and joyful and singing all the songs and dancing and the weird like over the top ending. It made me like I had so much fun watching the movie because it was, you know, like a Monty Python sketch half the time. I had so much fun watching it that I was like, oh man, this freaking movie's great. Um yeah, I really liked Albert Finney and I really liked this movie, but to me, like there's no wrong answer other than like it has to be Caine, George C. Scott, or Albert Finney. Those are like the three to me that like the other two are obviously wrong, but like those three, that's what like Caine, Finney, and Scott were to me, where they were like different styles and they're all amazing. And like I would argue that George C. Scott was the greatest actor for sure. And Michael Caine, he was also a great actor. So I mean, I could go either way with those two. Um, but the fact that it was like a Muppet movie, and I liked Michael Caine so much. He was so likable and sympathetic. He didn't have like that part of me where I was like, oh, Scrooge, you know, he's an a-hole. Like, will he ever change? Like, I could see Michael Caine, like, kind of like with the Patrick Stewart thing, where I was like, he was so sympathetic. Like, yeah, I'm like, he's definitely a good guy underneath. With Albert Finney and George C. Scott, I didn't really see that there was like a good guy underneath until it kind of got towards the end. And then Albert Finney was so over the top that maybe that's why George C. Scott like played it a little bit closer to the vest. I don't know. Um, but another one more thing I'll say is watching George C. Scott in that movie and then watching Albert Finney, it kind of reminded me of like the Batman movies, where like if you were to watch Christian Bale Batman and then go back and watch Batman, like the Joel Schumacher Batmans with like George Clooney, you're like, oh, he's going super serious because the last guy was kind of over the top comedy with it. That George C. Scott, like they wanted to really make it more a more serious tale and not like fun and jokey. So I feel like that's what they kind of did with those movies. But I really loved Albert Finney, and I thought he was great at it. But I don't see like I have no problem with Michael Caine or George C. Scott winning either.
Right. Like, well, yeah, they all did a great job. It was a lot of fun to see such talent and them hitting those certain notes, and you're like, "Ooh, I like what you did there," and even if they kind of didn't do their own spin on certain stuff, that was fine because, like, to me, that's Scrooge. After a while, I'm like, I feel like I know this Scrooge. But for my top three that that are battling for number one is Finney, Scott, and Sim. Finney, just in terms of what he had to do, is just great. Like he's having to do so much in that movie, just in terms of like the difficulty and like multiple balls in the air and shit like that. Like it's fucking great. I love that performance. Um, and then also the fact that he got to play a younger thing, like that's just bonus points. Like I loved his younger self. Um, and then Scott is such a powerhouse. I love that guy. And I knew like yeah, I knew I was in for a treat when I watched this. And yes, he's so good. Um, but damn it, Alistair Sim, when he changes, like he did a fine asshole and shit like that, right? Out being scared, all that stuff. But when he changes, it is the best. And it's like, this is what I pictured Scrooge as. And not only that, but like I really felt like he played like if you've ever had an epiphany before, like I have, he captures that giddiness. He captures like, oh, the colors are more vibrant now, and like and like what's his word? He's like, I don't deserve to be this happy or something like that. Like I loved everything he did. I fucking like I thought he played everything just fine, and I love his expressions. Fucking great. My vote is Alistair Sim for sure.
All right. Well, we all have a different top three, even.
Oh shit.
So, as both of you know, I hated Finney. Like, like I liked a lot of the stuff he did, but just the voice, like his choice for the voice, I did not enjoy watching that for the entire movie.
He has a good natural voice he should have used, right?
Right. And um unfortunately none of us are giving any love to Stewart in our top threes. So it was between Caine, Scott, and Sim. And I don't know what to say other than I would be repeating Vince. Like I went for Sim, Alastair
Really?
Sim, the person who got no love in the genre awards. I got to give my vote to just like he is the iconic Scrooge. Like when I think of what is Scrooge like, he's like a miserable old man alone in his house, like scared of the world around him because he's like treated everyone or trained everyone to um like be afraid of him and therefore he's afraid of them and just like I just thought he just captured the essence of Scroogeness so well.
Dang. That's great. All right, so now we all have our votes, and now I'm going to reveal the the record. Okay, so best actor for Scrooge, and let's remind people, for the Reddit Award, it was Michael Caine. For the Genre Award, it was Michael Caine. And the winner for Best Actor to play Ebenezer Scrooge it's a split vote again.
Gosh dang it.
It's Michael Caine and Alastair Sim.
We need to do like ranked choice voting or something.
I'd like to change my vote. I'm gonna go with Michael Caine.
You have a addiction with your cocaine.
I felt like I voted third party for no reason, and I wasted my vote.
You know what? It's nice to finally have your guy win. Like, Combs didn't win last time. I was like, damn it. Like, he didn't win a single one. But to split it is weird. But I don't know.
Well,
You
that's our tradition apparently is splitting the winners.
gotta have a splitter. To be fair, and I won't reveal how many members are part of the Recollection Awards, but this was definitely harder for people to get on as a project because you're gonna watch the same movie 5 times, But you know what? I'm still thankful for those who did vote and stuff. Yeah. Basically, I'll say this. I'm a Scott fan, and I will continue to be him. There's more movies that I gotta watch of his, and I think I'm a brand new Albert Finney fan. Like, I really liked what he was doing. It was great. I'm looking forward to his stuff. And then Sim, I'm kind of curious, like what else he's done.
Yeah, I don't know anything else. Maybe that's part of the effect too, is that like this is literally all I know him from. So there was nothing stopping him from being Scrooge in my mind.
Shit, you know what? And that's what I was thinking. Like, last year, I felt like Dave, you voted Douglas because you liked the movie, like he was in the better movie. And
Yeah.
with that logic, I would give it to Scott. Like, I love that fucking movie. Everyone is so damn good, and so is he. You know, and then it's like, oh, well, John, you kind of like, well, are you acting or are you just being yourself? Yourself. And I think I didn't know. I didn't know enough about Sim, you
Mhm.
know. So, yeah. All right, well, that was the show, guys. I have no idea what awards we'll ever do again, but this was fun. I like it.
Oh, we do need to talk about who was the best Marley.
Ooh, thanks, man. Okay, so, oh man, it's tough. It's either George C. Scott won. He was just horrifying. Like, I don't think he could see. I think his contacts were like whited out, so he was just like, "This is a terrible place." But Alec Guinness, what the fuck is he doing? I loved it. He was so fucking weird. Like he was underwater at times or something, and oh, I'm gonna go with Guinness. Guinness did a very good Marley.
I agree. I think it was Guinness, and I had no idea that was Alec Guinness. I was like, as I was watching it, I was like, man, this is really good, and I felt like, oh, that was my favorite one. And once I went on IMDb and I saw it was Alec Guinness, I was like, holy crap. I'm like, then I had to go back and rewatch it and be like, oh, I guess that is him. And it was a great performance, and I felt like the costume design, they did him so dirty because I thought he had the worst costume, but he did the best work with it.
Yeah, I was looking forward to him, like, Luke, use the force. But he was doing a voice, a very fucking all his choices were so bizarre. Like when he's leaving the room and he's waving, the last thing you see is his hand when the door closes. It's so fucking odd. That was great. Who wins best Marley for you, John?
I didn't consider that when I was watching the movies, and I cannot remember what was what anymore.
Just lie to us. Say it's the Muppets.
Guinness.
Oh
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
it was Waldorf and Statler. Is that their names?
That was good. All right, well, that's the show. I was Vincent Cloud.
That was John Emmett.
I was famous Dave.